Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Mancier. I wanted to come and say hello to assist in the celebration of this new spring and new energies. For all is new. Everything is being reborn. There is a rebirth every day. New energies. We have to learn to tune in to the more subtle frequency, to be attuned to this new frequency. I'm going to pull out a few cards from to see what the angelic guidance may be for today. For the angels are divine beings of light. What I speak about in those videos, for those who are new to the channels, are transcendental psychology. It is what we call commonly in philosophy metaphysics, which is address the soul and the spirit, those things that are still mysterious. I will talk about this after the reading. For today, the highest wisdom is called energy. So this is the number one card. It's the first card. Energy is not differentiated until it is differentiated. Everything is energy. Everything. We are made of energy. Some of the energy that we are made of is physical, visible, such as our physical body. It is, everybody can see it. But there is many parts of ourselves that are invisible, such as our thoughts, our emotion, our astral projection, our desire body, our spiritual self. All those, we are made of many parts, and everything is energy. What we do want to seek to align is our physical body, our physical habit. We want to align it with our mental body and our emotional body and our astral body, our projection. Once those four bodies are in alignment, the cause and the effect are one, and then there is an alchemical transformation that is happening. The understanding of that one card is also the power of Mercury, the power of the one. You are the one. You are the master of your life. And so to become the one, to never forget that life happens for you. You are the center of your life. Never put any. I'm not talking about being selfish, but in some sense, you have to take care of yourself first. It is good to know that we can depend on others, but first, once we know how to. A star does not need other stars does not depend on other stars. It fills itself with light, and all the excess light it shares with all the others. So be a star. Understand our true nature is from, we come from the stars. But until we know that, we won't be free. We have to recognize the nature of light before we can discover freedom. Otherwise, we are bound to the road. We are a flame that's bound to the mountain, as the master of wisdom Thoth used to say. So what we need to understand is droiture. Droiture is honesty. It is being straight. It is being straight. It is being right. It is being not self-righteousness, but to be as honest as possible with all the consideration of that which is fair, that which is just, which is a situation where no one feels left out. Also, so to be straightforward in many sense. So that's what we have to understand. What we need to do is justice. So it confirms that for justice is, in many sense, we do not want to judge, but we want to bring situation into a state of fairness where everyone can sense that there is a sense of fairness, because most frustration comes from the sense of a lack of some kind of. So justice will be what we need to do is to be just and to apply this justice to this fairness, this neutrality into the situation that we are exposed to. And the general message for us is purification, for there is a purification that is going on. The more pure we are, the closer we can get to the center, to the source, to God. And so it is important to purify ourselves, but to understand that as humans we have to move from the impure into the pure, from the heavy into the light, from the darkness into the light. But in many sense, the essence of life is both darkness and light, and so within the new parameters of we have to integrate our darkness and not allow it to be dominant, yet to be tolerant and to gradually allow the light within ourselves to engage with a sense of comfort and trust in relationship to the process of life, so that the ego allows to surround his hold on reality, and we can move into higher sense, higher soul frequency and spirit frequency. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. Feel free to comment if you have any comment, or if you have any suggestion. Or of course, I'm always enjoying all exchanges with those who are listening to those videos. Yeah, I'm going to pull out a card for the for the Akash today, the Akash is the memory cells. There is 3 great energy centers: the blood that moves in, and then there is the electromagnetic that carries the memory, the cells to the nervous system. But everything, the source system that blended in is the Akash. It is all the reality of the soul. So there is a great deal. It's like a great library of information, and sometimes there is all kinds of things that can be triggered. But for today, what will be triggers is the angelic nature. It is the angels. So it's about trusting the angels. The angels are divine beings of light. They are supremely intelligent. They do not miss things as we do. They are expert in focalization of energy, and if we trust, we can work with them. They can bring to us what we need, what we want, and in grace and need. So it is about trusting, communing, eventually aspiring to move in towards this level of purification, knowing that we already have this angelic nature within ourselves. It is just a matter of cultivating a little bit each and every day. So that is for the Akash. Where I wanted to bring just 2 or 3 little points, philosophical ideas or practical ideas also. It's always good. Series are always wonderful. We need to speculate, we need to dream, we need to expand into. But the advice that are practical are also very useful. That are very down to earth kind of advice. And the first thing I wanted to mention is that we ask right now to liberate all kinds of old things from the past, but it creates a void within ourselves when we liberate those things. So it's important to, as soon as we liberate, we release, we make a ceremony to release something, for instance, that we fill it immediately with love and light, to bring in this love and light and to fill the void and so it can be replaced. It's a process. I also wanted to say that the soul was originally is a great being of divine light. For soul, most philosophers thought that the cognitive consciousness was the soul, the mental reasoning process, but it is not the soul. It is the mental body. The soul is an eternal being. That is, there is only one soul, and we are all a unique part of that soul. And this incarnation is a unique. We are unique within the soul, but our incarnation is a unique part within our soul, which is made of many parts that exist in different time, different space, different planets, different universe even. And we are called to reconnect to many parts through the allowing to read our DNA, to allow those memory to be integrated. For there is always an intelligence behind the experience of life. It does not happen by chance. Nothing happens really by chance. There is always a reason for things to happen. For in the banquet of Plato, Plato said that the human beings were whole and eventually they were separated. It's also what the Egyptian teach us, is that the Ba is the eternal essence that we call life. The Ba, and the Ka is the illusion, the shadow that men call life. The Ba comes when the Ka is incarnated only. So that means that in many sense we do not belong to that world of matter, but as soon as we become that world of matter, there is an eternal soul principle that wants to reconnect with that ego form in many sense. And so it is the reconnection between the soul and the astral body. It's the connection in the Buddhist philosophies when the navel can come and solidly connect to the heart, to the point where eventually in the Buddha it's never the yin and the yang are no longer disconnected. But for us we need to discover that these divine principles of complementarity. We have to assume the responsibility of our own salvation. We are leaving the age of Pisces, the age of Savior, and we're moving into the age of Aquarius, which is the age of Angel, the self-liberation. So it is no use if we need to find wisdom, we can look for it in the Great Book of Wisdom or in different teachers. But in many sense, we are the one responsible. We have to look for things in order to find them. And we have to understand that life is like a great river. It flows eternally onwards until we find the ocean. But in many sense, the master of wisdom, Lao Tzu, in the Tao Te Ching, explained the action by non-action in perfect harmony with the great nature. Well, it does not mean to be lazy and to not do anything. It means to be in a contemplative state where all things are being revealed as a state of divine perfection that is is beyond the cause. That's like it's contemplating the lotus flower in many sense. But from that state of perspective, there is the mystic perspective that will tell you that all is in essence perfect as it is, and yet there is a genetic source code that will force the evolution to push us to act upon that desire to help and assist others. And so we leave the state of mysticism and move into the alchemical process of transmuting the lower into the higher. And so what we seek, in many sense, we seek lucidity and serenity in all situations. From there, we come to discover a state of being that is far more integrated. I also wanted to say, to close this message, is that many people in science and philosophy, or science, mostly science, but are looking for how to immortalize the physical body. But understand, if your consciousness is not evolved and you immortalize your body, it would become an eternal gel. It will become extremely problematic to be entrapped eternally in a physical form. So immortality has nothing to do with the physical body. Immortality is a state of being, a state of consciousness, and from there is even the knowledge on how to crystallize our body to make it last a lot longer, which we'll discover. But it is not through mechanical implants or magical pharmaceutical that we may be able to prolong life. But in a sense, we all have the power to reconnect, to rediscover our eternal nature, and from there we will be guided, led to know what we need to do. There was an old civilization that was Atlantis, and Atlantis was in the fourth dimension civilization, where there was people did not die and was born and died the same way. Their life was very, very different. Some of them were connected to the Merkara body, the plasma body, and so we would move from incarnation into incarnation when we choose and how we choose. But then there was a great catastrophe, and so we had to return to the state of cavemen and relearn everything. We lost all our memory. The good news is that there's been many golden age on this planet, many civilizations that man, it's not in recorded history, but it is in some of the sacred texts, like some of them, like the Bible, the Urantia. There's all kinds of other civilizations that have not been disclosed yet. But in many sense, what we need to know is that all those golden age have always ended up in catastrophes, but this golden age that we are moving towards will not end up in catastrophe, because it is the time where the planet has chosen the ascension, and so this golden age will be followed by the age of platinum that will last for tens of thousands of years, and then eventually will be ready to be spiritualized. And so it is. It is a process. The Earth is going to become a star, so only those who are willing and able to, because the Earth and the Sun and all the spirits will assist in that process, will accept to allow ourselves to move into a light form, a crystallized body, a light body. Then we'll be able to live on the Earth after it has become a star. All the souls that are locked in duality, brutality, violence, control, will probably be allowed to finish their life here, but will not be able to reincarnate. They will move on to a young planet that have accepted to receive all those souls that are still locked in duality. They should not be judged for what they are involved in. Yet the planet needs to move forward towards ecological restoration, the world of peace, a reconnection with the angels and the galactics. Moving to the next step of evolution for us can be something that can happen really quickly, because the laws of the universe have been decreased that will accelerate things in the process of evolution. So many surprises on the way. I hope this message was interesting for you. The painting behind me is an astronomy painting. I'm working on some larger format. I will show you that when the time comes. I wish you a wonderful day. I hope this was interesting, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste. Thank you.